Good day, guys. Today we are gonna play Akai in rank on EXP. Yes, this man, this panda right here, is an absolutely annoying EXP laner when playing against heroes like Aldos. Heroes that you can delay in the early game because they can't kill you. They don't have enough damage because you're a tank. This is the best hero to annoy them with. Note that this guy can counter almost any fighter, not all, any, but not all. Fighters that have enough damage that are also tanky. This can be Dailot, Yuzong, Kangid, so on and so forth. This guy will lose. But when it comes to fighters like Aldos, August, maybe Zeno, I'm not sure, or any squishy EXP opponent you have, Akai will win. And you're just gonna annoy the crap out of them because they cannot kill you. You are so tanky. You gain shield per skill you do. And because of that, he is very tanky. Because each skill you do, even your ultimate, you gain a shield. A few tips before we get to the tutorial is, of course, the very first thing you should always go with Akai is second skill. That skill is spammable, unlike his first skill. His first skill is not spammable. I always go with his second skill in the early game. And of course, this will be a tutorial as well, don't worry. And just look at that damage. Oh, just look at that damage. Already at half HP. And I'm gonna force this guy to retreat. Oh wait, no, he won't be retreating because he's dead. Look at that. That is so juicy right there. First blood goes to Aldos, which is the best part. Sadly, this guy cannot push very well because he is a tank. And you will build him as a tank. You will build him as a full-on tank. He can work as roaming, but I like him as EXP more. I have a better win rate on my EXP lane as Akai than my roaming as Akai. I mean, I already played him as roam like one time. I played him multiple times in EXP, which is kind of fun. Like look at this. Oh, Aldos is just and he's dead. Wait, no, not yet. Now he is dead. Oh, God, that is so satisfying. Anyway, let's start off with his passive, guys. His passive, Tai Chi. Each time Akai uses a skill, he will gain a shield that is equivalent to the 5% of his HP. At the same time, when hitting an opponent, they will be marked with this panda symbol. This panda symbol, it means your base attack will do more damage to them. The extra damage you do is equivalent to your 5% of your HP. So the more HP you have, the more HP stats you have, the more damage you do with your basic attack. You also gain more shield because your shield is equivalent to your 5% of your HP, while your attack is also 5% of your HP. So it's a win-win situation if you build him more HP, but you cannot do that because you're gonna be very squishy if you do that. Another thing to note is his passive mark on the enemies lasts very shortly, so you only have a few times before you have to cast your skill again to face it. So timing your skills, right, is suggested. Anyway, moving on to his second skill, his first skill. His name, Headbutt. This skill will make Akai dash forward. If there's an enemy in front of him, Akai will airborne that enemy. And if the player keeps moving his joystick forward, he will go on forward. But if the player stops holding the joystick, Akai will just stay there where he was stopped. If the player moves his joystick to the right, he will go to the right, to the left, or if the player wants to go back, he could go back as well, just by moving the joystick backwards from his location. Look at how I'm aiming my joystick is. So when I want to go forward, I keep aiming it at forward, and if I want to go to the side, I aim it a little to the side for Akai to go to the side after hitting the enemy, just like this. See? Just aim at a direction and Akai will go to that direction after you hit an enemy. If you don't hit an enemy, Akai will just dash forward and that's it. Nothing more. So this skill does an airborne, so it means it can stun heroes like Odette's ult. You can cancel those. You can stun Gold's ult. Since it's a airborne, you can cancel those pretty easily. and it makes a very good displacement skill since you can displace enemies with your ult if you do a combo with that. And look at this Aldos again, he's already at almost at one shot again, which is amazing. And the best part is he's gonna die by the Serena, and boom, killing spree for the Serena. Oh my, this is why I enjoy playing Akai in EXP. He is so good at messing with people. At the same time, he is painful to kill. You will lose much more. And with his build, that's what. Wait. I'm getting ahead of myself. I will talk about his build later on. So his next skill, his main way to deal damage in the EXP lane, in the early game at least against squishy heroes, will be his second skill. His second skill, Body Slam, it is when he squashes the ground beneath him, dealing damage to any enemies around him. The damage is equivalent to 6% of his HP. So once again, the more tankier he is, the better he is. So now let's move on to his ultimate, shall we? His ultimate, Heavy Spin, it is when Akai starts to spin around. Any enemies that comes near him will be stunned and pushed away. This skill is very great for saving your teammates if they are in a very big pickle and you need to push enemies away. Or you can stun lock an enemy against the wall with your ult. Just push the enemies towards the wall and don't move, just stun lock them there. You can also use your first skill while your ultimate is active. You cannot use your second skill though, but you can use your first skill while this ult is active. So you can just dash around with your ult when your ult is on with your first skill. You will not be able to get behind the enemy unless they are stun locked beside a wall. So by then, they have to be stun locked before you could get behind them with your first skill. But it works either way. It might take you some practices to fully master his ultimate, but once you do it, it is very satisfying. So let's get on to his combo. He has like 1 to 2 combos only, which is very easy to master. This very first combo is used by during the early game often, going with his second skill first, then basic attack. First skill, basic attack, then you go with his second skill again when it's already fully cooled down. Last combo is first skill, second skill, ultimate. Or you could go with first skill and ultimate without using your second skill. But that's up to you guys if you guys want to use it or not. Personally, I don't use it as much, but I don't use the one with the second skill as much, but I still use it regardless, depending on my opponents if I need to do some damage to them. So let's move on to his builds, emblems, and battle spells. For your battle spell, you could go with Freaker, Revitalize, or even Vengeance. That depends up to you, but I prefer Freaker on Akai because I can do pretty good combos with them, and I thought I was gonna get hooked there. Before I move on to his emblems and some extra tips for his builds, I suggest when it comes to using Akai, always try to keep the enemy stun locked behind a wall, or if you could push them towards your tower and stun lock them there, go ahead. Or you can try to bring them towards your enemies. But the bad thing about using Akai is, well, you see, if you have a teammate that needs enemies to be together for the skills to work at the fullest potential, but then you use your ult to get them away, sometimes that's a very bad idea. So try to avoid using your ult at the very worst spot. These spots can be at a time where you have a Roy on your team. Roy in your team, or if you have a Tiger on your team and he sets and then you just push everybody away, that's a very bad thing. So I suggest when it comes to using his ult, try to keep the timing great, because if you mess up one part of your ult, you might get bashed for it. So another thing to note about that. So let's move on to his emblems, shall we? For his emblem, I went with Tank emblem. You could go with Fighter emblem as well. You could also go with Support emblem, but the best would be Tank emblem to make him more tankier. For his emblem stats, I went with Tenacity, Firmness, and Concussive Blast. Concussive Blast is just there for extra damage against your opponents. You can change it up if you want. but that would be the best. You could either go with Impure Rage or Brave Smite. But like I said, Concussive Blast works very well for Akai. In my case though, for why did I go with Firmness and Tenacity? That is just for extra defense against enemies. You could, for Firmness, you could replace it with Agility if you are lacking movement speed. If you feel like you're lacking movement speed, you can go with Agility. Oh yeah, Sprint also works very well for Akai, so if you want to use that, you can also. And for Tenacity, you could change it up with Pull Yourself Together to have that faster cooldown for your battle spells, or you could get the Wilderness Dressing for extra movement speed. But that would be up to your choice again. If you want to follow this build, this is also up to your choice. There are better builds out there, but this is the best build I've worked with, and yeah, just my opinion on builds. So let's start off for his Let's start off with his first items. So you could go with once again you could go with the regular boots. Do not finish tough boots or warrior boots, but those will be your main boots, warrior boots or tough boots, one of them. But don't finish them, just build the regular boots and that will be fine. Next up, you build Thunderbelt. You want to get Thunderbelt as fast as possible so you could get those nice juicy stacks against the enemies. Just keep on attacking enemies and you keep on gaining defense. Next up would be Dominance of Ice or Anti-Kungas, depending on your enemies. If you have high life steal enemies or high shield gain enemies, I suggest Dominance of Ice. After that, you build your very first magic defense item. You either go for Radiant or Athena Shield. So if you have any enemies that can burst, that are burst heroes like Eudora, Aurora, you can go for Athena Shield. If you have continuous damage heroes like Valir, Kimi, you can go for Radiant. That works well for them. After that, you go with Great Armor if they have marksmen like Hanabi. Or you can go with Anti-Kungas for heroes that are skill based like Younger, Cho, or any skill based heroes that you have to use Anti-Kungas on. You can go ahead and build Anti-Kungas. If there are no enemies that acts like those or deals those type of damage, you can go ahead and build Oracle to get in extra shield gain. So that also can work. But if you do not need, but if there are no magic damage at all in the enemy team, you can still build Oracle, or you can just go with physical defense. It really is just up to the enemy composition. Last item would be Guardian Helmet. Yes, that extra HP or that extra HP regen works very well for Akai, since he can just go off the battle and re-enter a few seconds later and he had enough HP to deal with the enemies again. But alone, he is a tank, so he can annoy the enemies a little bit more, or just be annoying at all costs because he's a tank, so yeah. Or if they have a very high powered enemy, example like Aldous that can one-shot you or deal high damage to you that exceeds 500, Leslie's enhanced basic attack that is 2 damage, you can go ahead and build Tyrant Armor. Tyrant Armor could help you reduce those damage to a significant amount. 2000, maybe he'll do like 500 only, and some extra. But that will be up to your choice, and regardless, it goes pretty well into the build as well, since it gives out pretty decent HP stats. And look at this the stun lock that Akais can do. Yeah, another thing to note that is when it comes to Akai's ult, one long move can easily dislodge that enemy from the stun lock position. So once you have them in that stun lock position, don't move anymore. Just stay there and keep them there until they are dead. Or if you can't kill them, run away with your ult, since that's doable as well. I almost got hooked there and I almost was sent back to the base dead. Since I didn't have my ult to save me there, I was definitely gonna die if he hit me. And suddenly I am a tank, so I did like no damage to the tower. Oh, I thought he has his ult and I thought I was way up. There's the ult I've been waiting for. Suddenly we can end this game. Like I said, I do like absolutely no damage. I am a tank. I am just here to annoy the crap out of enemies. I'm surprised they didn't try to kill me at all. I mean, it's not like they can kill me because of because I'm a tank. I'm very hard to kill, so yeah. You can counter enemies pretty well actually, unless you are fighting Hanabi. Like right now, Hanabi can just use her first skill to just get CC immune, but luckily this Hanabi here does no longer have that, so I can just stun lock her and just kill her just like that. Or I guess Novaya would do that for me. I guess that would be Novaya's job, not mine anymore. And suddenly, Roy does escape. You can actually do a freaker combo with this guy with your second skill, I think. Just freaker then second skill. I think I did that on the start of the game against Aldos. Or you could do a freaker combo with his first skill. I'm not sure if I have done that. I think I have in this game. But I don't think I was able to do it properly. I mean, been like 4 days since I recorded this. So yeah, in that meantime, I lost like 5 matches in a row. Dog system, we all love them, right? Enemies did get the load, but it's not too biggie. I'm able to solo it for some reason. I mean, that is normally what you would want to see. You would want to solo the road, actually. But suddenly, Alus just come by and ruins that because I can no longer fight him on one-on-one. Since at the moment, he is a very not fed. He has all his items. He is on tank build as well, so it's not gonna be easy. All I can do is just delay him as much as possible. Keep bring him towards the tower because once I actually was able to bring him towards the tower, his team comes by to save him. Fortunately enough, I have Mia here to save me as well. So yeah, that went very well. And if only that Gusion targeted me, I could easily counter him. And then there's the first freaker combo I was talking about. That was insanely satisfying, and they are all wiped out. And I guess this is the end, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as usual, and I hope it helps you guys out. I will do some other tutorials soon, or just regular gameplays, because sooner or later I'm gonna run out of videos to do tutorials on. I've been holding off on that August tutorial. I just cannot get myself to play him as well as I used to. I can play him well, but I can't play him that well I could make a tutorial. I can play him well, but I don't get the skills. And just like that, the tower is ended because I kept that Gusion all to myself on that wall. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope this video helps you guys out. If it did, please tell me in the description. Not words. In the description, in the comments. Please tell me in the comments. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye!